Welcome to the Football Experience, a podcast which details the sport in Botswana by interviewing coaches, players, and administrators. Today we're broadcasting live from the Hope Worldwide Botswana offices in Extension 11 in Gaborone. The NGO will tell us about their flagship program called Dreams, as Jessica Amen shares the details later on. This is the Football Experience, and today we're hosting a daredevil and a man who has seen it all and done it all where football in Botswana is concerned. He's a coach who loves to get his hands dirty. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and show love to Coach Nelson Olebile, aka Manelo from Mogoditane Fighters. Coach, welcome to the show.
Yeah, let me take this opportunity to also welcome you and greet your viewers, Foxido. I think it's been a long time, you and me without meeting, but finally we are here together. But in spirit, we are always together, man.
Ne ke go hile space nyana kana ha o lwantsha Sinbede ga re hile space motho o dingalo yo o lolele le bogana season ye o lolele lona o ngaka le sile prisons ha go batsentse re le disturb le montong e ka.
Definitely, Mran. Hey, it has been a tough season for me as a coach. As you know, the team that I'm coaching is relegated. So obviously, I would say yes, but it's part of our line in coaching, folks. You can't really beat yourself because people doesn't know a lot of things, behind the scene that is happening that result in maybe, but. I'm okay with it, folks. These are the things that later on you keep sharing with others to say, I once coached and I once relegated a team. These are the experiences that, honestly, in a line of duty, one would say, in the moments you're also going to remember this moment because it's a bad moment for you as a coach. Obviously, dentists, your CV overall to say, team despite all odds when you find it in but for the fact that you relegated under your name, you have relegated it. It's a fact.
Coach. Would you say season ya gompieko e ne le significant go di heta tsotlhe tse o nile mo go?
Yeah, I would say that, folks, looking at the fact, ever since I've coached, I think maybe it's the second time I found myself a coach around the team that you are coaching, you understand? Whereby you find yourself being isolated, only knows you home as a coach. Probably I want a technical team, so you see, those are the moments that when I look back where I'm coming from as a coach, and I look currently where I am to say, but what I'm doing, answer from that level and reuse it to here. But I've managed to withstand, those things whereby I could really say, no, I can't abandon these players and run away from them. Obviously, I've made an agreement with the team that I'm coaching to say, okay, kita heta season alone. I need to be stuck with these boys because when I looked at them, time to time when we were coming for training, even when we are not there, they are talented boys, that needed my guidance. But, I also thank myself to say, and finally I'm still with the team and I'm making the team to survive and honor the games that has to be played week after week. I could not run away to say, because I received so many calls, whereby people were encouraging me to say, Coach, can I already look at what is happening now? Why can't you quit? I'm not a quitter now. Generally, I'm a fighter. I'm somebody like you just alluded on your similar show to say, I can just go down and take the team from and then encourage them to say, Coach Manelo, be stuck with these boys. You've been there before, so why can't you finish with them? Whatever that happens, take it when as a coach, as a parent, motivate these boys give them a smile, give them hope that, the life does not end ka relegation ya bona. They still have a bright future ahead of their future.
Give them hope, yeah, ka re le mo hope worldwide Botswana. Our kgaogana le Mogodisane Fighters ha season e here.
I wouldn't say yes or no, folks, looking at the fact that my contract ends at the end of next month, that is June. Obviously, for now, I would say we haven't met and discussed, whether I will still continue with the team. But what I'm sure of, I'm the only person that is available. I need to gather these boys together. I need to drive them again. Literally driving them to the thing. I just go and ask for a diesel from well wishers, and then I literally go house to house and get these boys. I think for where I am, I would say under evaluation to say, am I worthy to be with the team in First Division? But as for now, there are also some inquiries about my services. But, let me first deal with the situation that I'm currently facing Mogodisane Fighters, and then the rest we'll see what unfolds as we move forward.
So, on the team is the services.
Definitely. I'm a seasoned coach. Sometimes, other teams would not look at relegate these Mogodisane Fighters. They will look at the experience that I carry and what I've done before, not what is happening now. So there are some few inquiries, obviously, as you know, most of the teams they are doing projects. They are not taking their clubs as a club that has to compete. Whereby you say, this is the project that you want you to run. As you know, I've run so many projects, folks. Black Imperial, Masitaoka, VTM Football Club. So for those that are looking for, the coach that will be able to manage everything that regards to the technical area and players, one would say Coach Manelo. He's the one that has the experience. Because, mind you, I think I'm the only coach in Botswana, Foxido, that has done administration on the other part, apart from other credentials that I have in coaching. So I think that alone carries a weight when you are looking for somebody that will be able to also deal with issues in a proper manner. You can't neglect my services. Yes.
Coach Manel, technical director, director of sports, chief of staff. You went from Masitaoka to VTM. These are two sides selling financially, and then you went to Mogodisane Fighters, where the larger share of the struggles was down to Madi. How did it affect your pocket personally when because
no, definitely. I don't remember a single day getting a salary from Mogodisane Fighters. Remember when I'm from Masitaoka, I first went to save Mogodisane Fighters.
Yes, before YVT.
21-22 seasons. I found them Bale position 15, 9 games remaining. I saved them that time because also the quality that they had was far much better. But still doing the same duty that I'm doing now, because even at that time, I was only left with the chairman by then. The rest of the other committee members were nowhere to be found. But, I've managed to sit down with the players by then to say, guys, let's play for our future. Because one would say, okay, Mogodisane Fighters is not paying me, but at the end of the day, you got to use it as a bridge that crosses to another side of life. And this is exactly what we did. And like you are saying, I've never, see myself maybe smiling to the bank to say, even rather, I'm spending, the money that I've invested through my family, transporting these players to trainings. Even, players will be always players. Sometimes they cry to say, Coach, and as a father, you are there with them. When you've been there before, I talked to my wife, you see, look, this player is having a challenge. And sometimes I don't even talk to my wife. I steal from my family, trying to provide for these boys. At least just give them hope to say, continue coming. You have the potential. This situation should not make you worrying well or withdraw, because ultimately one would see you. So it has really affected my financials, because obviously around but I agree, folks, as a family man, if you grab football, you can't depend entirely in football. You've got to see other means of how you put in sustain. If I'm a professional coach, my living now is through football, but obviously how banana challenges nothing. So you have to find ways to say, what if maybe situation whereby you don't get the right lab that can pay you on time? What do? You have to have some other means and all that stuff. This is what I've done so far, and I'm proud. Folks sometimes don't. When I necessarily here, sometimes you need to also give out so that some of the situations in there. I believe some of the situations in and they've taken me to where I am. They've built me a very person that I am today. Because it's not about gaining. It's also about giving and helping others. And eventually God will see you through again.
Ke itse gore ga o rata go addressa controversy mme ha gongwe e te go teng o bo we addressa go le go nyanyane mo Facebook profile ya gago. Do we have a problem of backstabbing mo footballong ya rona ya Botswana, especially where admin is concerned, especially where coach relationships are concerned?
A lot, Brafoxido. The reason why our football is not growing as expected, it is because of this backstabbing. It just starts from Ronald colleague as coaches. We don't grow for a simple reason that we don't like to be together and trying to grow football to the level because mind you, we are the teachers of the game. And as the teachers of the game, we should be having a platform whereby we can share our experiences. And eventually, after sharing your experiences, you can improve the game. But when I'm coaching a team a coach from team B would always wish that Coach Manelo or Coach Manelo does this, things that you don't even really know. And dear progress and even our development in terms of how we can improve the game as coaches. And the administrator, whereby now they can even go to an extent that now they tarnish your name or they make no relationship about the administrators of football in our country. So this thing is just there because for me to get an information or for me to get something in my table, I need to say bad things about you. I think these are the modern trends. But bad practices trends. Honestly, to be fair with you, how
does this affect the players? Because in some instances, I've heard of story star management infiltrating the team. Sort of like go influence a team go influence the results because how fail go team team
No, it does. It does affect players a lot, looking at the fact that the coaches or the technical staff must have a good relation with the administrators because those are the core people by home to run or to achieve the mandate to the team over paid. But if at all, the two parties they run parallel. Obviously, all in the third party, which are players. By at the end of the day, this product, which is football, and whoever you're consumer, he must see something out of these guys to say, indeed, they're being coached by Coach Manel. Indeed, they are being administrated by Morph. You understand? Such kind of things. But if there's no relation between administrators and players, what more of the performance of player? Obviously, it's going to go down. The common mandate that is to improve a player in terms of product in football. Because so the issues are management influences players, maybe even to rebel against the coach, this thing, or the coach influencing players to rebel against management. Those are the things that really in Botswana football you find most of the time. They are caring a lot, and honestly they are making our football decline.
How can we address those issues in order to change for the better for the modern generation in Seditlang? A good working environment for all parties concerned.
First and foremost, Foxido, we need first to have good administrators. By you know, they are very competent, even they are aligned with the modern trends. Because you see, for the players or for the game to improve, it is only when coaches have improved or when players have improved. It has to start with the administrators because they are the ones that are running the clubs. But if they are not competent, if they don't align themselves with what is happening now, for example, benchmark, maybe probably to equip themselves on how to run the club. Or how to chairman? What are your the requirements that you need to have for you to be able to run the club? The manager, the coordination, the coach, the technical manager. So, everybody becomes an administrator because there is a vacancy here. For the club, effectively running. The administrators are come and help us fill in the space. We are going to have a void in terms of improving the game. So if we can bridge that gap whereby now administrators are called to come and run the club due to their qualifications, as much as coaches are being called to come and coach due to code compliance should not be only meant for coaches. Even administrators, they must be compliant in terms of the pedigree of a football club, because football is no longer seen as, you know, the yesteryears whereby an administrator would just come in compassion here. You know, they need to be competent enough also to reach a stage whereby now, even when situations are arising, he can be a problem solver in terms of that. Football now, this gap now, you'll find time to time you are required to go for refreshers. You are required for you to be attaining a certain standard or compliant to the modern trends. So when you go up, and these two people, bridge that gap, competent enough, then we'll be able to go somewhere. Because there is talent, no doubt about it.
In one of my interviews with the late coach Major David Bright, 2020, COVID-19. I remember Antar Fox, coach, qualification, report ya go receive ke motho o sa itseng sepeka coaching ke motho le gore ga ana qualification e dipe tsa sports admin. How is that acceptable? So I think go stempela mo ntse mo bua mo what there is talent mo Botswana.
Yes,
massive talent,
massive.
Let's talk about development. Ka gore nna ke lapiswe ke Premier League. It bores me to death because the players tse di tshamekang go Premier League, we've all seen them before and we know what they can do. Nna ke rata an element of surprise, which is why I go to the first division, which is why I go to Division 1. Ke eng ka re di coach ga di na confidence ya go peka a 16-year-old and 18-year-old mo teaming e tona e lwelang di-title mo Botswana.
Yeah, you've raised a very good point, Foxido. I think this is where we are, we are lacking as Botswana Football Association. Because if you can put policies in place, strictly, we can emphasize to say, for us to go somewhere, we don't want to see a 35, 36, 37-year-old circulating amongst this team. We are setting a policy to say, this team must assign, they must sign 20-year-old. And in their lineup, I think two must feature in the game. And first division, it has to be something that has to be done without fear and favor. Go the regioning like over Division 1. We need to set in a age category. 25 years. Otherwise, if household all 25 years and above, you can't play there because this is where development has to start. But now you would find that Harry Kwamoto go Premier League, ale 35, 37. He can no longer improve the game. Instead, what he should be doing now, in terms of meaning coaching, so that the game. Now, what do you do? He must go and replace a 16-year-old boy. You're morning, he has the talent. Yesterday I was talking to someone in Ranzi. Arona lebeletse teaming ibidiwa Blue ACC le School Boys. The coach, yes, the coach of Blue ACC. You know what he did? I think he has done history in Botswana. You need to visit that coach. These two games, they were the title deciders. So the coach decided to field in 14-year-old boys, Balababit, in a game that has to decide the title. And that team has won 2-0. Those 14-year-old. And mind you, why is it about that 14-year-old cannot fixture in under 17 because of Sansa Alamunyane, when you play this competition among Zabokwasaf and on the likes. But that shows bravery. And originating, this is where we need to identify the talent that I'm talking about. Because now I go to these regions and I look at the talent that I'm talking about. If they can be given an exposure at an early age, go first division, go Premier League, definitely our game would change. But what if Leone BFA can take a stand to say, no, enough is enough? Because we are dreaming even to host 2027. We are dreaming to host, other competitions in Africa. But for us to do that, we really need to rigorously you remember whereby they had junior teams, and Flamingo Santos, they had junior teams, and those junior teams they were giving players by honestly. Attract everyone at an early age, 18, 17. But these days, how identify one fighter say 17 years. First and foremost, what they don't want, he cannot be in the lineup. Why is it Township Rollers? But he needs a coach that has a sober mind, that has the grounds to stand, to say no. As long as I'm registered, I'm going to fixture him in this game. Talent, but ba khanelwa ke maina e leng gore a teng mme maina a so thela gonga a ka thusa football ka go pera
go 2023 gompieno. Yes, ka 2013 no le ka
2013 I was extension gunners.
Yes. How le bella ka ha retreat and repressive di coach tsa Botswana ka teng ka 2023 o bo compare le ka ha re ne re le treat e bile re le passive ka teng ka 2013. Would you say treatment ya lona ya improve in terms of giving you the time and space to work, and also remunerating you the way we remunerate foreigners when they come into our football?
I would say, the way we are treated, some years back, it's not the same. Let me just give you a short scenario. Now, when we started coaching, reviewed the junior coaches, we were learning from the late Major David Bright, may his soul rest in peace, Boston Choswane, all these great coaches that has ever been there in the game. Folks, I still remember very well, we used to have, every week, we would have 2 sessions. Le Boston, go KFC, Pelaka Trade World, Emoji West. We will take all the 16 teams in Premier League, analyze them, break them down, including your own team. Or no, this is how this one plays. For you to counter them, you need to do this and this and this. And mind you, we are admiring these coaches that we found in the game. Some good interactions, because those senior coaches, they didn't feel or maybe wanted to take their space as compared to now. Because I've been into the game, I have 26 years coaching experience right now. The upcoming coaches, there is no interaction. There is no where we meet and we can discuss the game to say, at the end of the day, whether a coach go team A or go team B. But the ultimate goal, the product must be refined so that it attracts the market. We need to share the experiences that we need to also why are you successful? Why did you manage to win that competition? Why did you went to the final? How? So those little details, they can improve an individual. Once they improve an individual, obviously they improve the game. There are a lot of egos. They are former players, they are coaches of, those old coaches, they think they can control the game.
Yeah, I think you
and when you check what I mean, where are you going to get the experience? I don't know if I make a child 49 years Fox. Because I was even checking somebody 15 to 20 years. There is no old coach in the game. The game is evolving and the game needs an experience, and it's the best teacher, time to time. You cannot play tomorrow and say today you have acquired the relevant knowledge, competent. So we need all these people together to say, no, let's have in this era where football was more getting to an advance. There is technology in it, scientific in nothing. So but we have some experiences. We've met these challenges. At least we are upgrading with time. I get the experience that I have and the experience that he has acquired during play, and now as he wants to be a coach, it cannot be matched with where I'm coming from. So football at a high level. Now, let me give you an example. I have the experience. I have not played football in Premier League, but I've played football. But you cannot undermine me simply because I've not played for Zebras. It's an insult. As a coach, there's where you play and there is where you stop, and then you transit now to become a coach. And this thing is ultimately different because you cannot be because you are a good player, now you'll become a good coach. They are making it in the history of coaching. They were not great players. Great players, they are never successful. Only few of them. But we are not saying you can't discard that somebody would make a great coach having been a great player before. But if we have a good interaction, officials, go tlo bo go tsenya nna ke tshameketse tsa bora se nna ke tshameketseng so gone mong hela ka gone mo ka thusang football rena Botswana otherwise morena ra go iphitlhela re le mo mathateng hela gore this one ha tsena o batla go nna le group ye yo ha tsena o batla go nna le group ye so dio tse o ela ke tsontse le gore I think this is a pharologanye e teng.
Using that example, Antonio Conte, who played for Juventus, he wasn't the most important member of that team. Yes. He definitely wasn't a superstar, but he went on to become a great coach. Simone Inzaghi, who was the brother to Philip Inzaghi. Yes. Inzaghi na wina small le AC Milan Philip, but Simone wasn't that successful as a player. But look at him now, why Istanbul go finally in a Champions League Inter Milan. But on the contrary, Andrea Pirlo was a marvelous player. Yes. Classic. But if Mola Juventus, and then you have Gennaro Gattuso, who for many years was the headliner for AC Milan. He was the man of steel, but winner the Champions League, but winner the league. He even won the World Cup with Italy, but he couldn't make it as a coach. So I think I understand the example that you made. Yes.
I'm a gospel admire my friend. I'm a gospel. No, ke pa kwa nyame ke a modimo. Yeah. Yo tota ke itshwere monna modimo. Ke motho a modimo, I'm a gospel listener.
Gona le gore no go batliwa pato maikutlo mo Batswaneng maloba ka constitutional review. Yeah. And a lot of villages, a lot of Batswana were saying we want the right to vote for our president directly. Do you agree with that?
I do definitely, because those are the the modern practices across the world. You cannot continue you have majority parliament. Let people vote the leader that they feel he can change the story in the country. But that also no, because another majority, therefore you become the president. But obviously, Baba majority, they will always win. Yeah.
And who would you vote for if you could vote for your president directly? It doesn't even have to be somebody in politics. Yeah. To the promised land.
Hey, I don't have that one in mind, folks. But I feel let's football. One way or the other, negative progress. I think we need just to identify someone there. Maybe it's not even popular. Was not associated but another the vision, another the weight, maybe to take us somewhere. Because otherwise, hey, amongst all these parties, they don't make sense to me. Provided we have the right leader in our country, I think because we are few. Botswana is a very blessed country. Structure. Folks, challenge if really we manage our country well without I think this is where we are now. Now, if I can define a leader, I would say a leader, one, should be somebody who's sober-minded, who can be able to absorb pressure when it comes from all corners. A leader is somebody who has the vast mind. His focus is not for his personal gains. A visionary leader o akanyang pele ka matshelo a batho, not a leader o akanyang gore no, if I'm a leader there, maybe the opportunity that I'm given in this space of 5 years or 10 years, this is what I need to accumulate. A leader who is, again, very inspirational to all the communities, to the young ones and everybody, destitute and all the different kind of people that we have, the society that we have in the country. Somebody already had a mahale, but indeed he lead by example, who can be, interactive with the community at any given time. Ali free, a free mind. Is a dictator. Is somebody that would, all the time, now those qualities, those are the things that I look at a leader. Will be accommodated even to, for an example, a leader that leads the country. He has to be somebody that has to accommodate lebaba mo challenge and thought, lebaba mo criticize and thought. It's a new way how criticize and now he becomes an enemy of progress. Or no, let's kill him because too much. If I'm not aligned with you, I kill you. Instead of listening to you because how level and you look at it, then I need to look at you and Fox to say, Megana Fox, it's not me. If he is in the radio and start criticizing me, maybe there is how he looks at things. I need that kind of a leader. Not going radio station. I need such kind of a leader. The negative are turn into positives. The positives are the workers that did not go dimu. So I think okay, as a flexible but arrogant, got decision making. So maybe let's say the progressive, from this level to another level.
Sanada, because you just described yourself in 4 minutes. I've seen you since 2012.
Yes.
Not only players, but about meaning.
Yes.
Did you coach you empower?
Yes.
I guess onale a goalkeeper coach, Winfrey Jasasi Dirang, kana onale a fitness coach, Winfrey Jasasi Dirang, kana onale assistant coach, Emoragala or talk about US space. Hataman Rona coach, Akomodisana fighters before Offense Mapel tasted his first stint as a head coach because of your guidance. And onale banabale baba na emotional abaguaka baba tamikile mbolo ba kopa na lebon. This is why I'll always respect you. This is why I'll always love you and have time for you for bua on interviews and even beyond. I love abaisi ba go bolelle. Chokole yo le moyo, le success yo le moyo is because this is the journey that God has picked for you. Gore o tlo go disa bana ba bangwe in 10 le wena o gole ya ka o roto ga wa tumela 50 ana mentse ka ro 20 ke di blessings tsa modimo. So whatever you decide with Mogodisana Fighters and your journey beyond, modimo a nne le wena tswella ka go godisa Botswana, tswella ka go ikgodisa le wena re tle re go bohelong ba letsatsi when we look back at re monna ona gola di team tsa go tsa gola Botswana le yena gola. So thank you so much, coach.
Thank you, Fox. Thank you. On my parting note, I would say, I've met all the, radio stations, presenters before. I've interacted with them. But I've never seen somebody who's very principled like you. Let me just say it before anything else. If you feel something is not wrong, you never say no. Kana kebraya ka kemanelo. No, the people doesn't know what there is principle. What the ethics statiro. Hadia chwana goreng hangodi di sapasio ela go no kana kebraya ka kadingwa. Kana ke nna ke kana rditsala. Principle I would say you are very principled in terms. Without maybe I've seen, journalism here these days, he had decline. But he declined in the fact that but he were to make stories. People are invited whatever events tse di diragalang, because they are aligned to certain whoever you are mo diseng ko. But with you, you remain principled, and you are going to have haters and well-wishers. But let me tell you, you have to stand with that, because ultimately, the truth shall come out and shall set you free. This is my principle. People would say whatever that they want, but one thing that I know, I will always be stuck with my principle. And thank you very much for your time.
And that's Coach Nelson Olebile from Mogodisane Fighters. Re itse gore next season o tla ba le kae, mme go tla bo go ntse go le monate kwa leng teng, go le interesting, and we truly appreciate Batswana le di efforts tse ba di tsenyang mo go godiseng game ya rona, which is why we have the football experience. Partnering with NGO e bitswang go the Hope Worldwide Botswana, today we are talking about a program called Dreams with Jessica Amen. So stay tuned and enjoy your evening.
Hi, my name is Jessica Amen from Hope Worldwide Botswana. At Hope Worldwide Botswana, we offer a program called Dreams, which is an international movement for young women and girls to help them achieve their goals and to reach their potential. On a weekly basis, we host events for girls who are between the ages of 9 to 24-year-old, where we teach them or capacitate them on skills such as social asset building, financial literacy, and ready to work. We engage them on a one-on-one basis. On a weekly basis, we host events for girls between the ages of 9 to 24-year-old, where we capacitate them on social asset building, financial literacy, and ready to work, depending on their age groups. We host events such as baking, painting sessions, nail sessions, wellness day, health and safety, etc. Just on theme for every other occasion that may happen throughout the year. Thank you.